sheriff from 64 until 70. Back then, 3 2-year terms was all you could be in that setting out. So Bing Crosby Production knew that. They got a hold of him, said, Buford, we want you to make a movie. Pick your players, stay at the set till it was finished. He picked Joe Dunbaker to play him. Red West played Sheriff Tanner, Elvis's bodyguard. Don Lynn and Leif Garrett, brother and sister, played Mike and DeWanna. The movie came out in 73, 85% true, made more money than any movie out that year. He carried the stick on the right for a whole year promoting it. He'd been to Memphis and signed a $2 million contract to play himself in the second one, but he got killed. So Bo Stevenson played second and final. But the first one's 85% true, and that one's quite a bit of Hollywood in it. But Buford carried the stick on the right for a whole year promoting the first one. Stick in the middle is a lead pipe that was cement painted to look like a stick. The old fence post, Buford campaigned not to carry a gun. First thing, he run up on 6 moonshiners, and he didn't have anything. He saw a fence post, picked it up, sent 3 to the hospital, up 3 to jail. So when that word got out, someone whittled that and gave him. So that's the beginning of a stick. They made 50 of those pythons, his mottos on the barrel. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, no matter who you are.
Wow, I like that.
I do too.
The carrying the stick, I mean, you know, by today's standards, with everybody being politically correct and what, you know, legalities, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's really refreshing to hear he basically he kicked some ass. I don't know, excuse my French, I don't know how else to put it, but I mean, that's basically what he did, which is way cool. And one thing you pointed out, I've got to point out here, and this fell on deaf ears for me until you said the name. Red West was in the second film, correct?
No, the first one.
The first one, okay. So Red, of course, became part of Elvis's entourage. He was a bodyguard and was friends with Elvis from early age, but of course went on to work for Elvis almost up until Elvis passed. So it's interesting. Red was a known actor by his own rights, and he was, again, another kind of interesting music Elvis connection with the Buford Pusser. So, very cool. Wow, I mean, the memorabilia, there's a lot of unique artifacts here, really. I mean, just a lot.
A lot of things here. This is the church the ambush car was hiding behind when he went to answer a disturbance call. They did not know Pauline was alone. So when he goes by, out comes the black Cadillac firing. She gets hit in the back of the head. He hurries to help her. They return again. She gets hit again and killed. He gets his left jaw blown off. 16 surgeries, 3 years, no solid food.
Wow.
And that's the 67 Plymouth they were ambushed in.
Wow. That's
not anything down the state line anymore, though.
The church is still standing.
The church is still standing.
I can remember.
None of these places are.
Okay. I remember going to this church years ago because I wanted to see the location. It's interesting the country music relationship he had.
Yeah. Well, you can see that. Read on in here on his room, on this.
Oh wow. His 8 tracks. Elvis, Tammy Wynette, Freddie Hart, let's see, Sonny James, Johnny Horton, David Houston, Ray Price, and the Letterman. He had good taste in music.
This is his face. 16 surgeries, 3 years, no solid food.
Oh my word.
They found taking jawbone outside the car at the ambush site. This was the laundry room. They gave us door off his office at the courthouse in Selma, which he opened for 6 years. Made an office out of a laundry room. This is his 5 deputies. He had the first black deputy in Tennessee.
No kidding.
Dave Lippert. Buford is still the youngest sheriff ever elected in Tennessee. 26 years old. That's just... Officers pull their badges off and leave them with us.
No
lock them up.
Wow.
Things on this wall he confiscated. He took this gun off of a prisoner made from parts from a commode. Shoots ball bearing.
Oh my gosh. It's unbelievable. The ingenuity to do that. You'd think with that mental capacity, the good stuff they could have done. So this is all confiscated.
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable that
Well, see, that's the pipe. You got copper pipe goes down to the floor from your commode.
made a gun out of it. Unbelievable.
This room was the garage. We took it for a gift shop, and the city had addition across the back for restrooms and the cars.
Oh, I see. Wow. It's amazing, the patches in here. Good Lord.
Nearly all of these have been brought to us. Sometimes they'll visit and don't know that we collect them. We'll get one through the mail. But most of them have been here.
So probably safe to say a vast majority of the people that come here are law enforcement related.
Well, not everybody now, but there's a bunch that is, but I'd say not everybody that comes is, but
wow.
You see there's a bunch of them.
Yeah. Well, it's a little chilly out here.
Yeah. There's no heat out here. No heat in this part.
So this is the Corvette.
A 74 Stingray Corvette.
Wow.
The other is a 74 Lincoln Continental. He lived to see the first movie here for a year. He got his royalties. And he wanted the Corvette since he was 16 years old, but they didn't have the money. Family didn't have the money. So when he got the money from the first movie, he was 36 years old. Or about 35 then. And you would think that if he had the money, he'd go buy the Corvette first. He didn't. He paid his house off first.
Wow.
Then he bought the cars.
Wow. This is really moving.
We're proud of our little museum.
Yeah, no, it's really extremely well done. And again, I'd been here at least 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing the car, as you had mentioned, in Pigeon Forge when I was a kid. So, but still, it's just, I guess I'm struggling to wrap my head around it. I mean, he really was just a tremendous influence on a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And it's just the tragedy. It's just really, it's just sad. It's just the tragedy that he experienced as kids and so forth. But I'm glad to see the preservation done here is extremely well done.
We're proud of it.
I really am. I think it's important to show new generations.
There was over 300 sprays of flowers at his funeral. There was flowers sent from England.
Wow.
George and Tanny sent flowers on that guitar with a broken string.
Oh, wow.
There they are at the funeral.
Wow.
Joe on Baker.
Oh, yeah, sure. So that wraps up our tour here in Adamsville, Tennessee at the Buford Pusser Home and Museum. We'd like to thank Shirley, a local neighbor and longtime friend of Buford and his family, for giving us a private tour today. If you're going to come down on your own, be sure and spend 2 or 3 hours here. There's a lot to learn and the legacy that he's left behind. So come see it. Be prepared to spend a few hours. Today you're just getting a brief glimpse. But we thank you. We thank the city of Adamsville, and again, Shirley, for giving us a private tour. So here we are in Adamsville, Tennessee at the Adamsville Cemetery. We're at the Pusser family cemetery plot regarding the family. Of course, you can see Buford Pusser was laid to rest here in 1974. He, of course, was the legendary sheriff of McNairy County from 1964 to 1970. And sadly, prior to his passing in 1967, his wife, Pauline, was killed in an ambush near here. We won't be going there today. But this is the final resting place of the family. To my left is Dwana Pusser, who was the only daughter of Buford and Pauline. I got to know her. She had loaned me some clothing of Buford's to put on display on our touring exhibits because I was a big fan of Buford Pusser. So I'd gotten to know her well. She had passed away a couple of years ago now. So it's here it is winter time, and we're just in the small quaint town of Adamsville, and we're just paying our respects today to the legendary lawman, Buford Pusser of Walking Tall fame. So here we are in Adamsville, just outside of Adamsville, Tennessee, and this is the exact location on 64, old 64 to my left, new 64 to my right. Buford Pusser would have been traveling in his Corvette, going back to Adamsville
from Memphis, and this is where he had crashed and lost his life. The last minutes of his life were spent here, and his daughter, Dwana, came up on the scene and basically was with her father in the last seconds of his life. Very sad, very tragic end to legendary lawman Buford Pusser, Sheriff of McNairy County from 1964 to 1970.